Hello, my name is Shayla Moore. I'm a Head Start teacher of 4 and 5 year old children, and in our class size, we have anywhere from 15 to 17 children. When I was first introduced to systems thinking, um, I went to a training and they introduced it and gave me the books and the cards, and I listened to the ladies talk, and I felt a little bit overwhelmed with all the information. And then I thought also that it would be something that would be too difficult for my children at the age that they were to comprehend and to be able to apply. But I listened to them, and then when I left the training, I went home with the materials and I started going through the materials. And then one of the ladies came and done an observation in my classroom. And we started out simple by doing 5 little monkeys jumping in the bed. And it was like she introduced it as a stock flow of things going in and coming out, like the bathtub. And that kind of simplified it. And my children understood. And so we continued to talk about implementing the others and how you could adjust them for what you needed. And we went through some of our lesson plans and used the materials that we already had to just implement this in with it. It became easier for me to implement systems thinking as a teacher when I became more familiar with it, and it became like second nature when you started reading your lesson plans or were doing activities that you were planning to do. It would come to mind that, oh, this would fit with this, or this tool would work well with this. Um, um, and then the children became more involved in the activities and participated more in the group activities as they began to recall past events and retain the information for longer periods of time. Whenever we did story time, and then we maybe went back and revisited that same story maybe a month later, the children could tell me more about the story in greater detail from using systems thinking. And even if they had missed maybe some days of school, had been absent, but we had previously done that story, when it came up again, the children were able to provide more conversation and more of their thought and input to the activity. And the advice I would give to someone that's just starting system thinking is to just pick one tool maybe and to start out with on it till you feel comfortable with it. And when you start using the system thinking tools, others will come to mind, and it will become like more natural to you to look at something and say, oh, this fits here and that fits there. And I feel that they're all linked together, that once you start using one, the others will appear their self. It's like they do it becomes natural, and it just I don't know how to explain that. It just leads you to the next tool is how I guess it is. And then I went through my lesson plans, and then those helped me too to decide which one to use and when. And then if I know what goals and objectives that I was wanting the children to come to be identified, that also helped with what tool that I needed to use. And I don't really have a favorite tool, because like I say, it becomes natural that one leads to the next one. They're kind of like they're all in the circle together. So when you use one, you actually could use another one if you wanted to either extend it or further more information from the children. And I don't think the children actually had a favorite either, because children learn differently. So when you use different tools, that helps them in the direction that they're going in. They're learning. If it's a system thinking tool lets you see a child's thought process. So there's no right or wrong. So when they can explain what they did, that is what I'm looking for. That is my goal, is for the child to be able to explain their thought process and how they came to that decision and what they did to get there. So that is what systems thinking is to me. It is we do this all the time as early Head Start teachers, but now it just has a name for it. And it also has a visual that you can use and explain to other people, and other people can look at what you've done and be able to tell what your thought process was or what you wanted them to gain from that.